choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept.
Our special guest today in the 6th grade was retired mission control specialist at NASA, Mr. Joe Ripma. He's come to us from out of state and came in to share about his experience as mission control today.
I retired 16 years ago, so it's been a while since I've been at the Johnson Space Center. I was there for 37 years. I started there as 18 years old. I was a cooperative education student. I have a degree in aeronautical and astronautical engineering. Yes, I am a rocket scientist. And 37 years I worked in aircraft operations and engineering, Skylab reentry, payload operations. When the shuttle would fly, they would always carry an experiment. Well, that experiment had to get integrated into the shuttle, and so somebody had to help the scientists do that. So I got to work with some of the most brilliant people in the world, putting together their science packages and fly those. How many of you have ever seen the bionic arm, the arm on the shuttle or space station? That was my system. I worked in the shuttle program office, and then I finished out my career in safety and mission assurance.
So our class just finished a unit on space, and because of that, I wanted them to be able to see not just facts about space, about the planets, not just what makes our universe and our solar system special, but I wanted them to have a practical application of how that looks in the career field. So having the opportunity to hear from someone who's worked in mission control, and even to hear from him the opportunities that almost anyone could work at NASA. You don't have to be an engineer. You don't have to be a rocket scientist in order to work at NASA, but you can be a rocket scientist and work at NASA. I love giving my 6th graders an opportunity to get a glimpse at what different futures might look like for them. And I have a couple students this year that have already expressed interest in working at NASA. So it's great, especially when you have students who have already had their interest piqued in that particular area, to be able to say, yes, this is something you could do. This is very attainable.
NASA has everything from PhDs in some technical field to technical folks that can build things. You can, if you want to work for NASA, regardless of what your skill level is, there is something there for you to do if you want to.
I think it has been really neat, even as we've studied the solar system. We've really been able to do, even as we made a scale model of the solar system, to be able to see how small we are in the grand scheme of what our solar system really is. I think sometimes we forget that we're just one small little part in a much bigger space, in a much bigger universe. And it just gives us a little more perspective, even as we tie this in with social studies, which I also teach, remembering that sometimes we think in our country that it's all about us. And so having that more global perspective, and then having a universal perspective of knowing where we fit, I think just gives them a different view of the world.